Samantha Markle and Meghan Markle's attorneys are duking it out in Atlanta because Samantha wants the appeals court to see in her favor that she can move forward with her defamation case. So
our children, if you behave in a certain way and we can control the landscape. I mean, it was like really sick and contrived. And I think he got to the point where, excuse my French, BS.
Oh, wow. Sit down and get ready, because this is a wild one. Meghan Markle, who usually controls everything about how she looks in interviews, makes herself seem perfect in the media, and often talks about being treated badly, is now stuck in a place she really didn't expect: the courtroom. And guess who's the one putting her in that spot? Her own half-sister, Samantha Markle. Yup, the same sister Meghan once acted like she barely even knew is now fighting back with proof, legal papers, and secrets that could tear Meghan's perfect story apart. And here's the craziest part. People close to Meghan say she's totally freaking out about it. Let's paint the picture. Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, who went from Hollywood to royal life in the UK and then back to Hollywood again, has always told the public a certain story. She says she came from nothing, had to grow up almost all on her own, and worked super hard to become famous. And then Prince Harry showed up to make her life a fairy tale. That's the story. But Samantha Markle doesn't believe it, and now she's dragging Meghan into court to tell the truth.
Wrapped it on. Because she's got form for strapping on baby bumps.
Here's what's going on. Samantha is suing Meghan for saying things that hurt her reputation. This happened after Meghan's big Oprah interview, where she said she was raised as an only child. Remember how Meghan made it sound like she had no support growing up? Like she had to do everything by herself? People were shocked. Oprah even leaned forward like, wait, what? And Meghan got tons of sympathy from everyone. But Samantha? She wasn't cheering. She was super mad. Now she's using the court to show that Meghan wasn't telling the whole truth. Think about it. How can you say you were an only child when your sister is still alive and lived in the same house with you for years? Samantha brought school records, photos, and family stories to prove Meghan wasn't this sad, lonely kid she described. Samantha says Meghan only pushed her family away once they didn't match the fancy image she wanted. That's cold.
The brand, land new deals, and stay focused, and now she's stuck battling the same ghosts from her past. Bottom line, Meghan's not backing down, but she's furious this fight isn't over. So, Samantha Markle, there's the briefing from people close to your sister. She's furious.
Here's where things really heat up. Meghan's lawyers tried to say that when Meghan called herself an only child, it wasn't meant to be taken literally. It was just how she felt. Seriously? That's like saying, if I call myself a king, you can't say I'm wrong because that's just my opinion. The judge isn't falling for it, and neither is Samantha. And sources say Meghan has been crying in private, super angry that her sister won't just stay quiet and let her version of the story go unchallenged. But can you really blame Samantha for being upset? For years, Meghan has acted like Samantha doesn't even exist, calling her a half-sister she hardly knew. But Samantha keeps saying they shared a home, shared memories, and were part of the same family, whether Meghan wants to admit it or not. So when Meghan goes on TV and acts like Samantha was never part of her life, it doesn't just hurt, it messes up her name. That's why this court case could really hurt Meghan's trustworthiness. Think about how this looks for her image. Meghan wants to be known as someone who tells the truth, stands for real life, and owns her story. But now, her own sister is standing in court saying, actually, Meghan lied. And you know how people are. They love drama and surprises. If Meghan is caught making up parts of her life to get sympathy, her whole poor me image could fall apart like a cookie left out too long.
People's mental health, like she claims she does, if she really is a champion for those with mental health issues, Brittany, she needs to think about the people who Meghan Markle has bullied. What about all of the accounts of the Sussex Survivors Club, Brittany, of people who have actually ended up in rehab, have had a psychological difficulty?
And don't think Samantha is going easy on Meghan. Court papers say Meghan didn't tell the truth about their relationship, acted like Samantha didn't exist, and even made money by saying her family life was full of drama. It's like Meghan used her past like a tool, cutting out the parts that didn't make her look good But now, someone else is taking those scissors away from her. Of course, Meghan's fans are standing by her, saying Samantha is just jealous or trying to get attention from Meghan's fame. But here's the thing. Jealous or not, Samantha brought facts, dates, and proof that you can't just ignore. You can't walk into court and sue someone for lying about you unless you have real evidence. And Samantha seems to have a lot of it. Meanwhile, Harry, poor sweet Harry, doesn't know what to do. People say he's been walking back and forth in their Montecito house, trying to help Meghan calm down as she cries about her sister trying to ruin her in front of the world. For Meghan and Harry, who like to stay in control of the story, this is like a bad dream. Because in court, you can't just call Oprah or Gayle Ching to help you look good. You have to deal with the truth. And Meghan is starting to see that her perfect little quotes don't work so well when someone's asking tough questions in front of a judge. And the timing couldn't be worse. Meghan has been working really hard to fix her company Archwell, bring back her fancy lifestyle brand, and show Hollywood that she's still someone important. But this fight in court with Samantha is digging up all the old drama she wanted people to forget. Instead of being seen as a smart, independent businesswoman, she's back in the news because of family problems. And not just any problems. Her own sister calling her a liar in front of the whole world. Can you imagine what's going on in Meghan's PR team right now? Her spokespeople are probably freaking out, trying to figure out how to spin this. Maybe saying Meghan was misunderstood. But here's the hard truth. Samantha isn't going away quietly. She's already written a book telling everything. She's already done interviews. And now she's got a chance to tell it all in court. Meghan can't just pretend she's not there this time. How much worse can it get? Meghan knows it's bad. That's why, according to people close to her, she's been crying a lot, upset, shaken, and angry. She's mad that Samantha is stepping into the spotlight Meghan thinks belongs only to her. Mad that her carefully built Lonely Princess story is falling apart, and mad that for once, she can't just shut people up. Because here's the truth. When it's a gossip story in a tabloid, Meghan can say it's about racism or sexism and people will back off. But when it's your own sister in court holding papers and saying this is the real story, well, that's a whole different situation. Meghan is finally seeing that this isn't just a small media problem. It's a big threat to the story she's used to build her whole career after leaving the royal family. And you better believe the royal palace is watching this like it's a movie, popcorn and all. Meghan used to say the palace didn't let her speak, that they tried to silence her. But now, the funny twist is that her own sister is saying Meghan did the exact same thing to her. If that's not karma, what is? By the end of this week, Meghan might still be called the Duchess of Sussex. But to the public, she's starting to look more like the Duchess of Deception. And Samantha, she's sitting back and watching Meghan struggle while the truth gets closer to being told. Oh, wow. The Markle family drama never takes a break. So now Meghan's crying into her fancy tea in her big California house, and Samantha's out here getting her court papers ready. But let's talk about the real details Samantha's sharing, because these aren't just little complaints. These are sharp hits right where Meghan feels the weakest. Samantha says Meghan didn't just stretch the truth about her childhood, she completely erased her. Imagine growing up in the same house, going to school, eating dinner together, having silly fights like all siblings do, and then one day your sister tells the whole world that you basically never existed. That's not just rude, it's mean. And Samantha's making sure the court hears about it. She's brought in school records, photos, and even people who knew the Markle family back in the day. All of this is to show that Meghan's only child story was just a sad story she made up. And you know what? Courts love real proof. This isn't a talk show where you can cry at the right time and win people over. This is sworn truth, and Meghan can't talk her way out of it this time.
But, Meghan could go to court. Meghan could end up having to pay her sister out for damages. So I don't think it's been the year of the Markle sparkle that Page Six tried to prepare us for.
And can we just stop for a second to notice how funny this is? Meghan has always built her whole image around being honest. Remember all those times she talked about being real? Speak your truth, she always said. Well, now Samantha's in court saying, okay, sis, here's mine. And Meghan is finding out the hard way that when your, quote, truth doesn't match the real facts, people stop seeing it as brave and start seeing it as fake. Meanwhile, Harry is reportedly sulking in the background, angry that Meghan's past is once again causing chaos in their lives. Sources say he's been stomping around the house, snapping at the staff, and complaining about how unfair it all is. But deep down, he knows what everyone else does. This isn't some made-up tabloid story. This is Meghan's own sister. And if your family is calling you out for lying, that's not a problem you can just pretend doesn't exist. But Meghan isn't only stressed about the court case. Oh no, she's panicking about Hollywood too. Because if Samantha's lawsuit shows Meghan twisted her life story, who in Hollywood will want to work with her anymore? Producers, brands, and investors all want a clean, trustworthy image. Nobody wants to team up with a duchess who might be exposed as fake on national TV. And here is where it gets even juicier. Meghan's carefully built, poor me story is starting to fall apart. For years, she's made herself look like a woman who had no support, no family, and no voice until Harry came along. But if Samantha proves Meghan actually did have family, that she wasn't the lonely Cinderella she claimed to be, then what happens to her victim story? It disappears. And without that sad story, what's left? Just another celebrity trying to sell jam, podcasts, and lifestyle dreams. And remember, this isn't Samantha's first time in the spotlight. She's already written a book, she's faced backlash before, and she's still standing strong. Meghan tried to make her look like a jealous outsider, but Samantha keeps coming back tougher every time. Now, with the law on her side, she's not whispering to tabloids anymore. She's shouting her truth in court, and Meghan can't silence her this time. Now, picture Meghan's PR team. They're probably freaking out every morning, writing up statements and practicing how to spin this mess. But you can't spin a sibling. Meghan once tried to erase Samantha with one line on Oprah, "I grew up as an only child." And now Samantha is hitting back with legal papers saying, actually, no. That's the kind of comeback even Meghan can't outsmart. And you just know the palace is watching this with little smirks. For years, Meghan accused them of betrayal and cruelty. Now they're seeing her own sister accuse her of the same thing. Can you imagine William and Kate behind closed doors? Probably sipping champagne, saying, finally, someone else is holding her accountable. This is the kind of drama the palace doesn't even need to comment on. The chaos speaks for itself. But Meghan's tears aren't just about Samantha's lawsuit. Insiders say she's terrified this case will open the door for more family members to come forward. If one person wins, what's stopping the rest? Meghan's dad, Thomas Markle, has already given interviews. Other relatives have spoken too. If Samantha wins, it gives them all permission to pile on. And Meghan knows it. That's why she's crying. Because this could be the start of a total meltdown. Meanwhile, Samantha isn't giving up. She's staying strong, smiling in interviews, and doubling down on her claims. She knows Meghan wants her quiet, and she's using that pressure as motivation. This isn't just about money for her. It's about taking back her name after Meghan tried to erase it. And the more Meghan cries, the stronger Samantha looks. That's a PR nightmare Meghan can't afford. And let's be real, the public loves this kind of drama. People are eating it up like popcorn. Two sisters, one royal, one ready to tell her truth. It's like a real-life soap opera. And unlike Meghan's Netflix shows, this story feels real and unscripted. That's why it's going viral. By now, Meghan probably knows this isn't just a lawsuit, it's a test of her honesty. If she loses, she doesn't just pay money, she loses her whole image. The truth teller, the survivor, the authentic duchess. All of it vanishes. And what's left? Tears, anger, and a sister who won't stay quiet. So yes, Meghan might be crying right now, But Samantha is smiling, sharpening her claws, and ready to drag out every secret from Meghan's fancy closet. And if Meghan thought life in the palace was cruel, just wait until the court of law has its turn. Because in this fight, titles mean nothing. Facts do. And the facts are about to get very, very messy.